During this COVID era, a lot of people are skeptical about traveling. Why is that so? Because everybody wants to be safe. I'm here to give you my analysis of my experience flying with Qatar Airways from DFW, Dallas-Fortworth International Airport to Ghana. And I had to transit through Doha, Hamad International Airport. Alright, so a lot of people are paying for the PCR COVID test. I'm here to tell you that you don't need to pay for the PCR test. If you're coming from most of Western countries, it is absolutely free. Now in the United States, you can do your PCR test through CVS and it is free. If not, you can do it with any of the approved laboratories and have your insurance pay for the PCR tests. Once you have a negative PCR test, you're good to go. So with Qatar Airways, when you get to the airport, there's a customer service personnel who checks to make sure that you have a negative PCR test before proceeding to check in. After checking in, we all know what follows. Go through security checkpoint and go to your various gates. On board the aircraft, which was a Boeing 737, I hope I'm right, you will quickly realize that Qatar Airways is very keen on their customer service. So the flight attendants gave everybody on the flight personal hygiene kits. The kids on the flight were given backpacks and some stuffy toys, which I found very interesting, very fascinating, and an excellent way of rendering good customer service. I've never flown and given personal hygiene kit before, so I was very much impressed with Qatar Airways giving us personal hygiene kit. In those personal hygiene kit, you have your toothbrush, you have your toothpaste, you have your you have your face mask, and you have a socks. Okay, you have a socks in there, and then of course they give you the headset for you to watch movies. Now this is a very long flight, 14 hours journey from DFW to Doha, Hamad International Airport. So the core value of Qatar Airways is built on their customer service, and you will quickly realize that whilst you're on board the aircraft. Also, you quickly realize that there is a lot of leg room for all those with long legs. This was a big Boeing, so you know, it came with a lot of leg rooms, and I was so much impressed. So one very interesting thing, when you get to Hamad International Airport, you realize that COVID protocols are taken very seriously. Everybody was masked up, everybody was wearing their mask, and occasionally you would have attendants of the airport come around and coach people into wearing their mask properly. Hamad International Airport is very beautiful. It more or less looks like a mall. Okay, it looks pretty much just like a mall. Very nice environment, and they have very clean bathrooms. So if you're transiting through Hamad International Airport, be rest assured that the environment is very conducive, very clean, and very safe. Now there are a few things I did not personally so much like, which was the food, one, and also the long flight. Okay, so they only served 2 solid square meals and about 2 sandwiches. So if you don't properly feed before onboarding the aircraft, you might go hungry. So that is one thing to bear in mind. And transiting from Hamad International Airport to Ghana was quite very enjoyable, because that's just 6 hours and 45 minutes flight. We arrived at Kotoka International Airport at 6 20 a.m. and we're the only airline that had arrived on Friday. That was the 20th of August. And one thing I realized quickly was that getting to Kotoka International Airport, disembarking the aircraft and going through all the processes, before you leave the airport, I was so much impressed. Ghana has everything in place. The COVID protocols are well observed. So of course, when you get to Kotoka International Airport, you would have to take another test for them to make sure that you are not positive before leaving the airport. So when you arrive at Kotoka International Airport, you would have to take a COVID test before leaving the airport. So when you are positive, you're going to be quarantined. If you are negative, you proceed to leave the airport. There are a lot of stations conducting the COVID test, so the process goes very, very smooth. You don't have to stay in queue for a long time. Process at the Kotoka International Airport is very, very well organized. Everything went smoothly, and partially I believe it was because we're the only aircraft that had arrived at the time. So the biggest question is, should I fly Qatar Airways or not? It is up to you. For the price, I would say a positive yes. The biggest question a lot of people will ask is, should I fly Qatar Airways? Well, you go through the pros and cons and determine for yourself. Now, this is a very long flight. Bear in mind, this is a very long flight. So if you don't have any problem sitting through 14 good hours just to get to Hamad International Airport, and then 6 hours and 45 minutes just to get to Ghana, you can go ahead and fly Qatar Airways. Their customer service is top notch. I personally didn't enjoy the food, and that was just about it. Other than that, everything else was in place. COVID protocols were in place, great customer service, there's a lot of leg room, so you fly at comfort. This is my review flying Qatar Airways for the first time. I'll see you in my next video. It is adieu for now.